He used to trust me blindly, until I gave him every reason not to. I never thought it would come to this, me sitting across from a lawyer, heart pounding, palms sweating, as they ask me what dress I wore to dinner on the second night in Tulum. They know. Everything. And the worst part? He's not even mad. Ethan's just sitting there, stone-faced, like someone who already grieved what we had. Like someone who came prepared to bury it. I've been married to Ethan for 8 years. He was never flashy or loud, just good, steady. The kind of man who brings you coffee in the morning without saying a word. The kind of man who fills your gas tank so you don't have to worry about it. The kind of man who loved me right, even when I didn't notice. But lately, I felt stuck. I don't know how else to explain it. Like I was vanishing inside our routine. Same mornings, same dinners, same love you said out of habit, not heart. I started to feel invisible. And the worst part, Ethan didn't notice. Or maybe I just didn't want to admit he was trying and I was the one tuning out. Then the girls planned the trip. Mexico, beach, cocktails, sunsets, a break from the monotony. I almost didn't go. I told Ethan I wasn't sure. But he smiled, kissed my forehead, and said, "You deserve to get away." So I packed a suitcase and boarded a plane, thinking it would be a reset. A weekend, that's all, just a weekend. But you know how people say one thing led to another? Well, in my case, one lie led to 1,000. One drink led to a dance. One touch led to a room key. One fling turned into something I thought I could bury beneath beach photos and group texts. When I came back, Ethan was waiting at the airport, with flowers. He hugged me like he always did. He didn't say a word. Not then. But days later, I started noticing things. He stopped sleeping in our bed. Stopped asking how work was. Stopped looking me in the eye. Then, one morning, he dropped a manila envelope on the table. Inside were photos. Time-stamped. Me and him. My lies and glossy 4x6. He didn't raise his voice, he just said, "I hired a private investigator. You were never alone in Tulum. And now, I'm losing everything. Not just my husband, not just our daughter, but the version of myself that had everything and still needed more." I met Ethan when I was 24. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room. He wasn't flashy or mysterious. But he was solid. Gentle. A man who kept his promises and showed up, even when I didn't ask him to. He never made me chase him. He made me feel safe. Back then, that's all I wanted. He built a life for us. A small house with a backyard and a lemon tree that never actually grew lemons. He handled the bills, cleaned the gutters, walked the dog at 6 a.m., even when it was freezing. He never missed a birthday, never forgot my coffee order, never cheated, not once. And yet, I started to drift. It wasn't dramatic. It was slow, like a dull ache you try to ignore until one day you realize it's always there. We stopped going out, stopped kissing just to kiss. Sex became once a month, then less. He was always tired, work, stress, meetings, and I started to feel like a roommate with a shared Wi-Fi bill. I never said it out loud, but I was starving for attention, for someone to look at me like I was alive. I didn't want a new life. I just wanted to feel something. So when the girls planned a trip to Tulum, I said no at first, but they pushed. "You need a reset. Come on, just one weekend." Even Ethan encouraged me. "You deserve a break," he said, handing me my favorite carry-on from the closet. He even booked my Uber to the airport, and I remember, clear as day, standing in that terminal thinking, he trusts me so much, and that made me feel guilty and weirdly empowered. Tulum was everything it promised. Ocean breeze, poolside drinks, laughter with no filters, no diapers, no dinner to cook. And on the second night, him, tall, tanned, that crooked smile like he knew every girl's weak spot. He came over by the bar while I was waiting for my mezcal margarita. "You look like someone pretending not to be on vacation," he said. I laughed, flirted, and then I said it, "I'm single for the weekend." The lie slipped out like it had been waiting its turn. We danced, got close, too close. My friends shot each other looks. One even pulled me aside. "You sure about this?" And I said, "It's just one time, it's not real." But what I didn't know was that I wasn't alone. There was someone else watching from across the pool deck. Not him, not a friend. A man holding a camera, following me from bar to room, zooming in, capturing everything. For $150 a day, Ethan had already bought the truth. It happened on the second night. I won't sit here and pretend it was an accident. I knew what I was doing the moment I let him walk me back to my room, barefoot, giggling, drunk on mezcal and attention. His name? I honestly can't remember. He had some startup job in LA. Said he was there on a solo healing trip, whatever that meant. We didn't talk about real life. He didn't ask about Ethan. I didn't offer. We spent hours together, on the beach, in his room, texting back and forth like teenagers. He told me I was beautiful, wild, magnetic. He didn't know I was married. Or maybe he didn't care. I took a few selfies during those days. Nothing explicit. Just me in sunglasses. My hair curled from the ocean air. What I didn't realize was that in the corner of one of those photos, reflected in the sliding glass door behind me, was him, shirtless, holding a drink, clear as day. I thought I deleted every trace, photos, messages, even the resort wristband. And when I got home, Ethan was waiting, holding a bouquet of peonies, my favorite. "I missed you," he said, kissing my cheek. The guilt hit me like a freight train, but also adrenaline. Maybe I got away with it. For the next 2 days, I acted normal. Unpacked, did laundry, hugged our daughter extra tight, made Ethan his favorite pasta, and watched him scroll through his emails while we ate. But something was off. He didn't come to bed that night. Or the night after. Didn't kiss me on the forehead like he always did when he left for work. I checked his location. It said, downtown. And that's when it hit me. I knew exactly what was downtown, his law firm. His cousin was a partner there. That night, he came home, silent, walked into the kitchen, dropped a manila envelope on the counter, and said nothing. I stared at it, opened it, and froze. Inside were photos, high quality, time-stamped, me walking down the hallway, me laughing at the bar, me outside room 219, a full itinerary of betrayal. He finally spoke. "A PI followed you from the resort to the room. I paid him in cash. He looked right at me. No yelling, no tears. You paid with our marriage." My mouth opened, but no words came out. I didn't even deny it. What was the point? He turned and walked away. Before leaving the room, he added, "This isn't just betrayal, it's evidence, and I'm done." I stood there, holding the envelope, realizing I hadn't just lost his trust. I'd lost the future we built, and now, it was going to be used against me. The divorce papers arrived 3 days later. Ethan didn't hand them to me. He had them delivered, cold, efficient, emotionless. He was always precise, but this was surgical. He wanted full custody of Mila, not shared, not weekends. Full that hit harder than anything else. Because say what you will about me as a wife, I never stopped being a mother. At least I thought I hadn't. He moved out the same week, left me with the house, the silence, and the smell of his cologne still on the sheets. He didn't block me, he just stopped responding. No calls, no texts. Not even okay when I asked if Mila could stay up late. The group chat with my friends? Dead. One by one, they stopped replying. Turns out, just one time doesn't mean much when people start wondering if you do it to their husbands, too. My mom came over one afternoon to drop off a casserole. She stood in my kitchen, eyes full of quiet judgment, and said, "You had everything. Why wasn't it enough?" I had no answer. I still don't. I started therapy a week later. At first I used it to vent, to defend myself. I was lonely. He stopped trying. He was never home. The usual checklist of excuses. My therapist, Lisa, listened patiently, then asked, "Or did you just stop seeing him?" I hated her in that moment, because she was right. I remembered Ethan kissing my forehead every morning, making Mila's lunches, massaging my shoulders when I fell asleep on the couch. He didn't stop loving me. I stopped noticing. I thought that was the bottom. But then, the real twist came. One morning, I opened the door to find a process server on my porch. I was being sued, not just for divorce, for emotional damages. Turns out someone at the resort had uploaded a few of the surveillance images to a gossip blog. Nothing graphic, but clear enough. My face, the hotel name, the dates. A trending thread on Reddit titled, "Wife Caught on Girls Trip. Husband Hires Pie Over 1 million Views." And Ethan? He claimed the scandal caused him irreparable reputational harm. Clients were backing out. His firm asked him to take a leave of absence. Meanwhile, my employer, an HR consulting firm, put me on unpaid leave while they reviewed whether I had violated our ethics clause. So there I was. No husband, no job, a daughter who didn't understand why she was suddenly living in 2 homes, and a mirror I couldn't look into without flinching. It wasn't just a fling, it was a demolition, and I was standing in the rubble, wondering if I'd ever stop choking on the dust. The courtroom was freezing, not just in temperature, but in tone. Sterile, silent, like grief in concrete form. I walked in with my best blazer and flawless makeup, heels clicking against the marble floor, trying to convince myself I could hold it together. But my hands wouldn't stop shaking. My stomach twisted every time I made eye contact with Ethan. He looked calm, controlled, like a man who'd already buried the woman sitting across from him. His lawyer started strong, a slideshow of time-stamped photos, each one a bullet to the chest. Me at the resort, laughing at the bar, entering the room, exiting hours later. Then, audio. A voice recording from a restaurant. Me saying, he'll never find out. I felt my face drain. Then came the text logs, messages I thought were long gone. Ones I didn't even remember sending. My attorney leaned over, whispered, "Did you delete your iCloud?" I blinked. I hadn't. Everything backed up. Every screenshot. Every video. Even the stupid selfie I took outside room 219, smiling, oblivious. Then Ethan stood. No emotion. No raised voice. "This isn't revenge," he said, steady. "This is protection. I didn't lose a wife. I lost trust. I lost time. I lost my name in rooms where my reputation mattered." He looked right at me. "And I lost the ability to tell my daughter what love should look like." His lawyer added, "Full custody, claiming instability, public exposure, reputational harm." I wanted to scream, to beg, to explain that I was still a good mother, but what came next made me forget how to breathe. Cross-examination. Their side pulled up a spreadsheet, 74 text messages from Ethan to me in the month before the trip, messages that read, "I miss you. Can we do date night Friday? You looked beautiful this morning. I love you." They asked me, "You claim your husband was emotionally distant. So why are there 74 messages of him trying, documented, before this trip?" I sat there, lips parted, tears sliding silently down my face. I had nothing. No defense. No lie. Just the sound of my own breath breaking inside me. Because the truth was so loud in that moment. He was trying. I wasn't. I stopped seeing him the moment he became reliable. I mistook steadiness for stagnancy. And now, the man I once called my rock was the one bulldozing everything I thought I could salvage. I looked at him again. Really looked. He didn't hate me. Worse, he didn't feel anything at all. And for the first time in my life, I realized what it meant to be irreversibly replaced in someone's heart. It's quiet now. She lives in a small studio apartment across town. No more two-story home with a garden. No more Mila's drawings on the fridge. Just a single mattress on the floor. A chipped mug for her tea. And photos she no longer frames. Mila is with her on weekends only. She counts the hours from Friday to Sunday night, trying to pack 6 days of motherhood into 48 hours. Sometimes Mila asks questions she can't answer. Why doesn't Daddy live with us anymore? Why can't I sleep in my old bed? She just hugs her tighter. She's jobless. HR didn't bring her back. No one in the industry will touch her. The screenshots leaked too far, too wide. Her name is a warning sign now. Lack of discretion, breach of values, PR risk. Meanwhile, Ethan? He's glowing. Grounded. Dating a woman named Sarah, a second-grade teacher who wears ponytails and bakes muffins for school fundraisers. Mila loves her. She talks about Sarah constantly. And that hurts in places she didn't know could bleed. She sits on the floor some nights, journaling. Her therapist says to write even if it doesn't make sense. So she does. One night she writes, "I thought love was supposed to feel like fireworks, like constant passion, like always being seen. But maybe real love was quieter, softer. The way Ethan always checked my tires before I drove. The way he never let Mila go to sleep without brushing her teeth, even if it meant a tantrum. I mistook steady love for boredom. He didn't destroy me. I did." She scrolls back through old texts sometimes, ones she never replied to. Like the one that said, "I'll always fight for us if you just meet me halfway." She never did. This isn't just a story about cheating. It's a story about blindness. About the way we sometimes chase excitement over safety. Applause over connection. Ego over empathy. The biggest betrayal wasn't what she did to Ethan. It was what she did to the version of herself who had everything. A daughter who adored her. A man who loved her. A life most people dream about. And she set it all on fire. So let me ask you. Have you ever destroyed something, just to see if anyone would stop you?